Hey guys, Patrick from B Squared. After being totally inspired by Jason at Team Part Out and their videos about their helmet setup, I wanted to do one on ours. So today I want to show you guys our endurance racing setup, how simple it is, how it works, how we get our comms, our water. So my helmet is a Sparco RF5, pretty simple helmet, pretty much base to the base if you wanted to get into a lightweight fiberglass helmet made by a reputable brand, and that has Hans attachments already built in. Little details on the helmet. This helmet did not come stock with the blue iridium visor. I picked one up as soon as I saw it because obviously it looks pretty gangster. And then also if it's sunny, I don't prefer to have sunglasses in the helmet with me. So the visor setup is just so perfect. It looks great. And when I'm on track, I can choose whether or not I have shade depending on the conditions. But when we're in a racing situation, how do we communicate to our team what's going on in the car? The reason why communication is important is because you want to relay situations that happen on the track that might dictate a change in strategy, or you might want to communicate to your team if there's anything going on with the car that they should be aware of. So how do we communicate to our team? What are the tools that we use? This microphone system is pretty simple. We basically have an audio cable. It has the microphone on the end and the 3.5mm jack, which is pretty standard for your headphones. And the way I have it set up in my helmet is I basically don't have this fixed in. A lot of people have some sort of like hardwire or plug, or sometimes people have it sewn into the padding. And I know it's pointed in the right direction because on this particular microphone, the sound gets blocked if the little bolts here are not facing the driver. So if we want to install this correctly, I always remember bolts facing the driver, and they're pretty obvious here. When I install it into the helmet, I basically just lift up the pad, wedge the cable in, and then I fix the pad back into the helmet using the Velcro. So if you guys can see it set up here, here's the mouthpiece of the microphone. Here's the cable running behind the pad, and it's fixed. Like it doesn't pull, it doesn't tug. It's like strong in there. And now the audio cable and the 3.5mm jack for the earpiece is exposed for easy plugging. So it's pretty minimal. I don't have other wires running into my helmet as opposed to just this thin one over here. You're not gonna have any like extreme raises in the padding that might be uncomfortable. This audio cable actually plugs into our radio system, and we have a racing radio system that uses a Motorola, and then we have a cable that's hardwired basically in the car, and you guys can see in the video footage our radio cable is actually hanging off. We're trying to clean that up, but for now this is the setup that we have. And this 3.5mm jack actually plugs into the earpiece. I'll show you guys how that works. Basically what I do is I have this earpiece here. These are from Amazon, and all the items that we have are gonna be linked in this video so you guys can easily find them. This is the earpiece. There are small speakers here, and they're obviously looking like earplugs as well. So if you have a car that's like loud like ours, it's best to have an earpiece like this that has both sound canceling, but then also the sound directly into your ears. And this doesn't really become uncomfortable. They're like foam, it's pretty simple. Basically what we do is we stick them in our ears. To prevent them from moving around, we run our balaclavas on top. So I've got my balaclava here, I got my earpiece in. So my hair is out of the way, my earpieces are less likely to fall out of my ears into the helmet because the balaclava is blocking them. And now I have this cable exposed. I can plug this into my helmet when I put it on. Put on your helmet. When you're entering the car, the 3.5 mils should already be fixed. So whoever's bolting you into the car should just have to worry about helping you find the proper plug to plug this in. So this is the setup for our communications. Always remember not to yank the helmet off if this is still plugged in. Just disconnect them first and then you're free to remove the helmet. So that's this setup. As for hydration in the car, we've got these drink bottles. I believe we got these from like Summit Racing. I forget. I'll find the supply and I'll link it in the description. But basically this is our racing water bottle. We've got the water bottles just sitting in a holder that is designed for this bottle and attached to our roll cage. But how do we actually get the water into our mouths from the bottle? This Sparco RF5 helmet actually has a hole right in front made for racing water bottles. So what I do is before my stint, I'll feed the water bottle mouthpiece through the helmet, through the inside. So this is basically gonna pull out. Here's the mouthpiece that I drink from. Bite on it, drink your water, and then when you release your bite, it closes the valve in the front that allows the water to come in and out. I'm gonna pull this through. This is sort of the more elegant way to do it instead of the water like coming in through the visor slot, and you might not be able to fully close your visor if that's important to you for safety reasons. I think this is the best way to do it. Alternatively, if you don't have this hole, you can probably just feed it through under, although you might have to balance it somehow because there's no way to fix this tube unless maybe you're using some of the foam in the helmet to do so. There are other ways that you can do it, get creative, but with this helmet, it was pretty convenient to have the water running through it. So I don't have to worry about that. And as I'm getting into the car, I'm holding my water bottle. I place it onto its container on the roll cage, and then I start to fix my lap belts and my shoulder belts and my harnesses, all that stuff. And as well, I try to get the radio in place. If I can't find the plug because the Hans is preventing my head movement, I hope my teammate can find the plug, and which is why the red color here really helps out with just identifying where to plug everything in. So we've got our water bottle set up, we've got our communication set up. This is the best way we figured out how to get hydration and communications into the helmet if your helmet doesn't have any built-in features, right? So if you're setting up your helmet and communication system, this is a pretty simple way to do it. It's reliable because the cables don't move around. If you're lucky enough to have a hole in front, you basically just pull down the balaclava when you're driving, feed the water through to your mouth, and if you guys can see here, I am able to bite on it and drink. And then when you're finished drinking, simply release the nozzle from your mouth, and then you're okay to drive with no other distractions into your face. And then when we get out of the car, we make sure to disconnect our communications. Each of us have individual water bottles, so you gotta make sure to take out both your helmet and your water bottle as you exit the vehicle. And usually the guy helping you get in and out of the car will help you do that. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was helpful to you. And if you have any suggestions on how we can improve our setup, or if there's any creative ways that you guys were able to get your communications and hydration into your systems, let us know in the comment box. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing you all at the racetrack. Have a good one, guys.